17 imported COVID-19 cases reported on May the 7th. Vietnam, India seek to boost trade. Exports of aquatic products to EU, China reduced 30%. Those are the headlines for FBNC News today. Let's go right into details. Vietnam recorded 17 imported COVID-19 cases on May the 7th, raising the total of infected patients to 288. Except for the imported cases, there were no infection in the community for the past 21 days. The new cases were among 297 Vietnamese citizens flown home from the United Arab Emirates on flight VN0088 on May the 3rd. Following arrivals, all of them have been quarantined in Bạc Liêu province and had their samples tested for SARS-CoV-2. In compliance with the Prime Minister's directive dated April the 10th, Vietnam has welcomed back 1,657 citizens returning from overseas. In the near future, more flights will take Vietnamese citizens home, and all passengers will be subject to a 14-day quarantine to prevent infection in the community. Domestic passenger transportation services will resume from midnight May the 8th to meet people's traveling demand as the COVID-19 pandemic is under control in Vietnam.
The Ministry of Transport asked the Director for Roads of Vietnam, the Civil Aviation Administration, the Maritime Administration, the Railway Authority, and the Vietnam Inland Waterways Administration to partner with provincial transport departments to grasp the situation in localities and promptly deal with arising matters. They were also required to continue with epidemic prevention and control measures on transport vehicles in line with regulations. At the same time, passengers were also advised to wear masks to mitigate transmission in case of new infections occurred in the community.
Teleconference Vietnam-India promoting trade in farm produce and processed food was held on May the 7th to discuss business potentials during and after the COVID-19 pandemic between the two countries.
India is a huge market in the Central-South Asia region with potential of consuming Vietnamese farm produce such as tea, pepper, rubber, confectionaries, catfish, and cereals. However, India's imports of Vietnamese products still remain modest. Vietnam's representative called on the Indian Importers Chambers of Commerce and Industry to continue partnering with the Indian government to open up the market for several Vietnamese farm produce such as longan, lychee, and rambutan, among others. IICCI President Atu Kumar Sasena, who has nearly 40 years of experience in working with Vietnam, mentioned 10 major products that Vietnam could tap to export to not only India but also other countries, such as rice, coffee, spices, cocoa, and cashew nuts. Apart from rice export, he suggested that Vietnam should use modern technology to process added value products and improve business strategy to gain more successes in India. Participants in the conference highlighted the need to fully tap resources and conditions to facilitate trade, thus promptly tackling difficulties for the two countries' farm produce businesses.
According to State Bank of Vietnam, bad debt in the banking systems is on the rise, and if not well controlled, it will negatively affect the whole financial system of the country's economy.
In the first quarter of 2020, bad debts at banks such as Kin Long Bank, TP Bank, Vietcombank, and VIB have increased, pushing the NPL ratio higher than that in the beginning of the year. According to the governor of the State Bank of Vietnam, Lê Minh Hưng, the expected outstanding debt caused by the COVID-19 pandemic is about 2 zillion Vietnam dollars, accounting for 23% of the system's total outstanding debt. According to SBV's estimates, it is likely that bad debt this year will exceed 3% if the disease situation goes bad. The outbreak of COVID-19 has been causing banks to set up a scenario to deal with the situation and lower the outlook of bad debt handling from optimistic to negative.
According to information from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, seafood exports value in April 2020 is estimated at $563 million, bringing total export value in the first 4 months reached $2.18 billion, down 10% year-on-year.
In April, shrimp is the main export commodity, with value reached $628.56 million, 1.8% higher than the same period last year. Crabs and other crustaceans achieved $33.27 million, up 33.4%. Meanwhile, export of pangasius reached over $334 million, down 29.3%. Tuna reached $146.47 million, down 10.4%. Regarding export markets, Japan, the United States, the EU, and China are the top 4 import markets of Vietnam seafood, accounting for nearly 58% of the total seafood export value, of which seafood export to Japan reached $313 million, up 2.18% over the same period. The United States, $287 million, up 1.21%. In contrast, exports to the EU and China markets fell sharply, with the EU $186 million, down 28.27%. China $145.6 million, down 27.5%.
20 among 22 types of stock trading fees and charges will be reduced by 50% from now to December 31st this year. This is the latest decision of the Ministry of Finance to urgently support those affected by the COVID-19 crisis.
20 among 22 types of stock trading fees and charges will be reduced by 50% compared to the current regulations. However, charges for granting trading licenses for individuals engaged in securities activities and fees for trading supervision will be the same. The changes will only be applied between May 7th to December 31st this year.
The central province of Quảng Bình plans to shift the focus of tourism from international tourists to domestic ones while offering affordable prices to stir the market.
On May 6, the People's Committee of Quảng Bình Province issued a document on the price reduction of a number of tourism products and services in the province. In particular, Osalis Adventure Tours, the leading jungle and cave adventure tour operator in Vietnam, was allowed to lower the price of the tour of Sơn Đòn Cave to $2,500 per person, which will apply from May 15th to December 31st this year. The province also encouraged local travel enterprises to reduce prices for other tours as part of the stimulus program in the post-pandemic period. The provincial authorities have also allowed the managing board of the Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park to continue to pilot the tour exploring Vòm Giếng Vọt Cave until May 31st of this year.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching. We're looking forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.